welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCT Center, and with me today are two lovely ladies. Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to high dimension of being. Morganne has been called the healer of healers as a way to describe her unique spiritual tools she shares. Morgan is here to serve those who seek greater understanding of their sacred spiritual self, have the deep desire to integrate that consciousness in their 3D world. And with us today again is Jeannie Rayne, licensed psychotherapist in state of Washington, working primarily with early childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and emotional neglect, helping clients empower themselves. Jeannie sees herself as a lifetime student of growth. She continually takes classes to enhance her knowledge base. At the present, Jeannie is studying internal family systems, IFS. Please remember, if you or your family or friends are interested in personal therapy and healing, you can reach out to me, Morgan, or Jeannie for private sessions. All contact details are in description below the video. If you like what I do, please remember like, share and subscribe to my YouTube and Rumble channels. Hello girls, how
Hey,
you been?
good.
I'm awesome.
We for 2 weeks we haven't seen each other. So
Yeah, boy, a
how
lot
was
of
those
stuff
two
happened
weeks
in
for
2
you?
weeks. Yeah.
How was those 2 weeks for you?
Well, the first part of the 2 weeks was we just didn't have any power. We had something called, what was that called? A cyclone bomb, Jeannie?
Yes, a cyclone bomb.
Yeah, cyclone bomb. So it was really weird because the night it hit, I was actually at Jeannie's house. And, it was not a big deal over there. Little light flickering, we had a beautiful evening together, good friends, beautiful food. And then we started home, and it's like you would see swaths of blackness, no lights, like you'd come to a little town and you know what it is, but there's no lights. It's like it was disappeared. It was so weird. And then the damage that was, man, there were just like uprooted trees everywhere. So, weather, nature, right? I love that. Back in the old days, we used to say you can't fool Mother Nature, right? Mother Nature's going to do what she does. And, when we get those kind of fierce winds, although we never had anything called a cyclone bomb before,
Yeah,
but
600,000 people were out of power,
yep,
and they were out for 5 days.
I was out for 6 days. Well, I
Yeah,
was so, yep, I was out for 6 days.
and it was
And
mostly the wind. There was rain, and we have really tall trees here, extremely tall, and so when the wind comes and they knock trees down, it does a lot of damage.
truly, I say uproot. I literally mean uproot, like the entire. Oh my God! And it's so beautiful to see the underside of the tree. But these things will, because they're so tall and top heavy, they just literally fall over, and the root structure is like all out for you to see, right? And they're enormous. It's just you can see like a tree uprooted, but it's the size of a building. It's pretty crazy.
A very tall building.
A very tall building.
Yeah, we live in the Northwest, and there's a lot of huge trees here.
Yep. And then I live in the forest, so we're always at risk here. But I wouldn't change anything about it. So yeah. So, but what was beautiful? Oh my God! Like when you realize, oh yeah, there's no power. It's like you wrap your head around that. Like, so the first morning it was so cool because no one here had power, you know, and everybody here's like, you know, they work at Microsoft. They're all geeky people here. So, you know, they're all attached to their electronics and their things, but we didn't have anything. Nobody had anything. Nothing would work. So it was so cool because people would wander up like to the common house and make a pot of, we had a generator up there, make a pot of coffee and sit and chat and hug. And, you know, it was like it brought the humanity kind of back. And that was just amazing. And then people were trying to figure out, well, let's cook together. We got a propane grill, you know, it's like, so we were like combining resources. We were coming together in a really sweet, delicious kind of way where there was just like no, I don't know, no pressure. It just was an isness. Like this is what it is right now. And it was just a lovely thing. And I also realized my body temple got to just like even relax more without any electronics, without any power, none of that electrical stuff running all the time. It's like my body temple was able to just like totally relax. And, you know, it was like a constant meditation all the time when you are not inundated with those frequencies. Yeah. And I know you had this similar experience, Dega, for almost 2 days.
No, not 2 days, for nearly day.
A day.
More than 18 hours. But in my case, see, I think difference between you is if it's going longer, you at least have this extra generator there. You can go outside, you can cook some food. Yeah. For me, in my case, everything is on electric. Even heating, if I need heating, it sparks up. I have gas boiler, but it sparks up from electricity. So boiler is not working, yeah. I can't cook anything. I can't do anything at home. Yeah, and my my feeling was, oh my God, I have 2 clients today. I need these sessions. I need to do this session. Then nothing happened. Electricity didn't switch on, so I tried to contact clients. I went to car from my telephone, tried to contact clients, managed to contact them, and then I understand that's all I can do. That's it. And at that moment, yeah, when I understood that it's nothing else I can do anymore, yeah, it was such a peace in my body, in my mind. It was only meditation, just pure peace. Like you said, no any noises at home at all. Usually there is fridge and freezer and TV, sky, there's something, and lots of things going on, some background noise, and now nothing around in my area, nothing. Yeah, it's like peace and quiet. That's it. I went to sleep together with chickens almost. Yeah. So with total peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost, it feels like a miracle when that happens, that there's such a calm and peacefulness that we don't experience, you know, with everything running all the time.
Yeah, because when there is this internet is on, electricity is on, all the time is like, okay, I need to do this one more. Maybe I can do this one more. Maybe I need this one. Always is something on the background on your mind.
Always going.
Yeah, all the time you're going. But then when you cannot log into internet, you just can't. Yeah, you cannot watch TV. That's not possible. Yeah. Nothing.
It shows how much we rely on these things, like, you know, and what we do before them. You know?
I don't know. I don't know how we survived actually before without it.
I don't know. I was talking to my granddaughter. She's all of 6, we know. And so we were talking because they couldn't get a hold of me on the phone, right? So it's like, I said, well, we just need to make some tin can telephones. And she's like, what are you talking about? Right. And I explained to her what tin can telephone. And then in her head, she thought they were going to go from my house to her house, which her house is like 20 miles away from me. So I'm trying to find actually a couple of real tin cans so she and I can make some tin can telephones. All of them seem to be lined in plastic these days, and that doesn't carry it as well. So anyway, enough of that. But I loved it. And I was actually, you could feel it when it came back on. My body could feel the energy of it. And we're used to it. And it's amazing what humans can cope with, right? And what we can just accept as just part of our world. And then we realize what is actually the natural way. Where our bodies can actually relax. So it really, it puts that question out there, what are we choosing at this time, right? So we can choose to have more disconnected times. And I think that's a good thing, a good plan for everyone to disconnect from all of that modernity of electricity and wires and frequencies, and just go be with a tree. Just go put your feet in the dirt and then learn to communicate that way. Learn to communicate with your world. Listen. So I know this is probably not a good thing, but I've done it anyway. We've got all these deer around us. And last spring, there was a mama who had twins, right? So the baby fawns. So they always walk right in the because my deck faces an orchard. Well, they love the orchard, right? Especially when apples are on the ground. So I've watched these baby fawn grow up, and now they don't have spots and they're getting bigger. So it's cold out, like the ground is frozen out there, and it's like I can feel them when they're out there. Like when I'll get this feeling, I'll go, and they're just like right out there, and they're like looking for me. And so I go, I see you, and then I'll go get my coat and a couple of apples I keep on the side, and I go put them out there for the deer. But it's that ability to communicate without a line, and the ability to communicate with nature. And if we are always plugged into something artificial, that's our reality. But once we start plugging into the natural order of things, then you can hear the deer. You can know when you can sense, not just hear, but sense and feel their presence. And I think that we as humanity, we've gotten so plugged into that modernity of life that we have disconnected from our natural way of being and our natural innate gifts, like that sense of knowing and hearing. And yeah. So anyway.
You have deers, I have squirrels.
I got
two little squirrels who are constantly communicating with me. If I don't put nuts up, I can feel the squirrel is there, and I look up and the squirrel is sitting in this bowl where it's supposed to be nuts and just hypnotizing. I'm working on a computer here, and I can see that she's hypnotizing me because, you see, I didn't put nuts up today.
And Jeannie's got crows.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's got crazy crows over at her house.
Yeah. It's interesting because my neighbor said the crows weren't there until I moved in. Like they were like, "What is with all your crows?"
Yeah, those beautiful messengers, right?
Right.
They're beautiful messengers. So yeah, so I think that for me, it's like it's so easy to get plugged into the internet. So easy to let your attention be sucked away, right? But if we think about our energy as just being this valuable treasure, maybe we would think about how we spend our energy, how we use our energy. That I think a lot of times people have gotten away from how precious that is, and that we just, to plug in and go away. And I see it all over oh my God, you can't even go into town without watching people walk on the street with their face plugged into a phone. It's like, it's so weird. It's like, I feel like I'm living and it was so cool. Because I even went down, like Jeannie knows where Woodinville is here. So I went down to Woodinville thinking I could find something. No, the whole town was shut down. And the people I saw were all open faced and smiling. And it was like a whole different thing happened. So, where does that lead us, right? And can we learn from these experiences to unplug? But we can. Yes, but humanity as a whole, I don't know. I think it's part of that. We get addicted. There's an addiction to it.
Yeah, I think the thing is we have to be mindful and aware of what we're doing. Like, how often are we not aware of what we're doing? And,
Autopilot.
right. And we're just going and going. And how much, like, if we just took the time to, like, every day and just be aware of how much we're in front of a screen, whether it's the computer, the phone, or the TV, like, how many hours a day are we spending on these things? And it just, the more awareness we can bring, the more intentional we can get about how like, do we want to be this way? Sometimes I think in our culture, we tend to let things lead us. Like we see outside of ourselves. We're looking outside of ourselves all the time, and we're not going inside. And I think that's where the real living is going inside, and then being with another and having real communication, and not this surface level thing that's, that dummies us down.
Yeah, it does. And you're right about it, dummies us down. We get dependent on a thing outside of us for making us feel something. It's right. So weird. It's very weird. So, so what's going to happen? I don't know. We got the golden age, right? Here we are. We
apparently already are in golden
age. We are. It's like Pluto got its little scruffy butt on into Aquarius, and we're off and running, and we are shifting. And there are awareness. I mean, even look at the conversation we're having. Like, we were celebrating no power, no internet.
Yeah.
It's like, is this part of it, that we don't have to have that external feed loop? We don't have to have that.
Right. Because what happens when, like, people think they get a lot of information from the computer, and so they're constantly scrolling through it, their phones and everything. And the real thing is, the art of reading, like basic reading a book, has been getting lost. There's statistically, there's a lot less people reading books. So, and what that does is, we're reading on the computer, and we can easily switch. Like, we're just switching if we get bored, But what happens is we don't retain as much as we can reading a book, because as we read a book, we can stop and really take in what we just read and really think about it and expand it and take our experience and do all this stuff. But if we're scrolling, we're just scrolling from one thing to another. So we're not really retaining it and looking at it different ways and really learning and taking it in. And so it's a lot of wasted time. Like, I mean, you know, as an experiment, you can just scroll down. I mean, do your regular computer or your cell phone and just notice, what did I just read before I read this thing? And what did I learn from it? And you won't be able to do it. Like it's, you know, like the mind is, you know, it's like squirrel, like we keep on moving and not paying attention to what we're doing.
Mindfulness, right?
And awareness.
And
right?
awareness.
I actually find one of most difficult exercises what I'm asking to do all my clients from very beginning, really with first session, I asking them to be in the moment. Yeah. To just stop, doesn't matter what they're doing, just stop for a moment and just check on their feelings, check on their emotions, check on surroundings, concentrate on couple objects, yeah. And most of them find the exercise extremely difficult because they're not able to actually stop for couple seconds, yeah, leave alone minutes, couple seconds, stop to check in with themselves, what is going on with them.
Right.
Even the breath. I mean, you can look at when it, like, even check yourself when you're like, you know, checking, what are you breathing in a beautiful, big, full expansion? Probably not. People get really shallow. I mean, shallowness seems to be an operative word here. You become shallow in your breath, shallow in your own thinking, shallow in your inability to connect with yourself. And then we have shallow relationships because we're not fully connected. You know, it's like, let's bring back the fullness of life. Let's bring back the fullness of breath. Let's bring back the fullness of being connected, because that's what's real. The other stuff is taking us away from who inherently we are as humanity. We're almost becoming AI, right? Because we keep plugging into a thing, and it dictates to us how we think and we feel. Why don't we plug into source? Right? Get connected to the Holy Spirit. Help Holy Spirit with us, guiding our thoughts and our feelings and our ways of being in the world. Yeah. Our world should have a whole silent retreat, all of it go down for like 10 days, and then turn it back on and see what emerges.
Well,
Not at winter time, please. Let's wait to summer, because I do want something warm to eat or drink. At least drink.
You know, I have camping equipment. You know, it's like, so the first thing that happened is I went and got my jet boil out of my camping gear, and I was able to make hot water, right? So this, like, for me, while I live in the Pacific Northwest, we're used to power out. We get them frequently, and especially where I live, we get them frequently. So, you know, I know how to make hot water. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like development of that internal peace within you, and we can't have that if we're constantly plugged into the external.
Right.
I understand.
Go ahead.
Go on, Ginny.
I was just going to say, it's stolen focus. what, when we get into the internet and all of that, it's, we get into things that we really like. It's like whatever comes up, it's taking our attention, and we're usually somewhere else that we didn't intend to be in, but so we're not directing, we're being directed,
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's basically stealing our focus without our awareness. Because we're not intentional about what is happening.
Now, what you say right there is a really scary proposition, and it's true, right? It steals our focus. But
And if where our focus goes, our energy goes.
That's right. Exactly.
So what we are manifesting at a time when our energy is stolen.
Exactly. So it's really for us to make new decisions about, it. I don't want to say internet's bad or any of that's bad, because I love internet. That's how I live. I work. That's how I support myself, right? Is through the internet. So it's a gift, right? But it can also be a lot of other things. And it's like an addiction. It is like an addiction. It does take your focus. It does, but we have control over that. When we realize we do. And again, I think that if you just come to awareness around, check yourself when you're on the internet. How are you breathing? What are you thinking? Is this your thought? Is this what you would choose? Like, go back to those basic things, right? We've developed a relationship with something out there that's not even real.
But for me, it didn't start with the internet. I think the way we work in society is stealing our focus. That some people are just in it for the job, like to get paid, and it's like we're not intentional. We're just going through like grinding the mill, and it's so important that we make decisions about what we're doing and not just go about, because when we just go about without bringing our mind and our awareness and choosing, we're having other people, other things choose for us, and we're not living our own life.
Yep. We become disempowered and victims to it all.
Right. Without our awareness, even we're going, and you see people like this all the time that are just going, living their lives, but not fully living, don't even know who they are. Yeah. They're looking outside themselves for answers rather than going within and saying, what do I feel about this? What do I want? Who am I about this? And how does this affect me?
Even worse is when people are looking of all this, whatever is posting on internet, and they don't actually feel good about themselves, or don't feel even that anything is worth anymore.
Yeah.
I have one client where I struggle actually to keep her going and thinking about that she is worth something. Yeah, because she absolutely, 20 years old, she feels that she is not worth anything, and she is failing, and everybody else lives this beautiful life, what they posting on the internet. Yeah, everybody is rich and successful and whatever, and she is nothing.
Yeah, that's a dangerous place to go. Yeah, Jeannie, go ahead.
I think it's really difficult for young people these days because our leaders haven't been that great to lead. It's not something that it's like the almighty dollar has become everything, and if you don't have it, you feel like a failure. I feel like there's a lot of young people who don't know what to believe in. We don't have heroes anymore. We don't have people that we can look to as guidance. And I think, I mean, the thing about the internet and all this technology is when you spend your time like that, it doesn't bring you joy or happiness, like real joy or happiness. We're not out there having experiences, with others, or putting our hands in the ground, or really communing with outside, ourselves, like outside, literally outside. So I think it's really hard because these kids have grown up with all this technology and really don't know, like they get together with their families and they're sitting there on their cell phone or their computer, and it's like, and no one's engaging. Like whatever happened to sitting around drinking tea and talking and communicating
and playing games with the family.
Right, exactly.
I was so lucky that I actually grow up in family when we get together with my great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, and we all play around some table games.
Right. And now people are by themselves, like this 20-year-old, like, the parents are out working and she doesn't have a job. I mean, I think it's extremely hard. And so it's helping her to find something that brings your joy outside the computers, all the electricity. Like, does she like to ice skate or dance or do something that can bring her joy, whatever it is, even walking in nature and looking at the birds and just thanking nature for being here,
Yeah.
I telling all this, and that is case of I don't feel it. I can say it, but I don't feel it. Yeah. I don't feel that. I feel failure. I feel nothing is actually changing. I will feel like that the rest of my life. Why I'm actually here, there is no point.
Yeah. So does she feel her butt on the chair? Does she feel like she can feel tangibly things, and so you start out small. If she doesn't feel it, because you really want her to get in their feelings, and that's the most important thing. She's got to learn how she feels, because otherwise she's at her whole tension's outside, and we really don't really truly live until we connect within ourselves, because everything begins with us. And if we're looking outside of ourselves, we're actually losing ourselves and not getting the full meaning of our life, because our life is so different from everybody else's, and so we have to find out what's unique to ourselves and how we feel about certain things. But if she doesn't know how to feel her butt on the chair, or how her pen feels in her hand, just different things, how her face feels, her eyes, are they, do they feel fully awake, or do they feel tired, or, and so as the more she can feel within herself, the more she'll be able, just tangible things, the more she'll be able to feel emotions. And she needs to start feeling her own emotions, because then you discern whether you like something or not. But right now it sounds like she has no idea what she likes and what she doesn't like. And she doesn't know, if we pay attention, there's always something that gives us a little joy, whether it's a bird that we see or whatever. But if we don't pay attention, we can just dismiss it as a bird, and it as a bird, and push it away. But if we think about the miracle of that bird and how it came to see us, we can get real joy out of it.
Yeah.
I think that the young people at this time that have been subjected, and I'll say that, to and I'll call it programming because it is, of uh, of of I got lots of thoughts about this, and they're just like all swirling around. I just, my heart goes out to all the young people at this time who have gotten plugged into the exterior world of, you're not okay. You must do this in order to feel okay. You must look like this. You must cut this off or add this on, or, you know, make it this, whatever. No the kids of this day have been told they're not their right sex, they're not their right color, they're not their right shape. They don't, it's like, you need this makeup, you need this drink, you need this article of clothing, which constantly and we got that too, right? You constantly being told, oh, you will be loved if you do this. You will feel great if you do this. Like someone coming at you telling you what you will think, feel, be, or do. We should have red flags up all about that. But instead, what's happening, and I see it happening all over the place, is people being told, and kids are highly influential because they got to fit in. They want to fit in, that the external has become what's real for them. And how would they possibly know how to feel about themselves when they're constantly being told how they should feel or look, or, or think, should think, look, or feel, right? And so when you, like with the getting unplugged from the internet or from power or whatever, unplugging in order to discover you, not what others say, think, or feel about you. And I'll go back to, like, even with marketing. In marketing, that whole thing is programmed to get other people to, it goes. I don't know. I'm blipping out, guys. Are you seeing me?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
You are time and time again, you breaking up.
Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yes, we are here. We are waiting for you. You've been breaking up, but looks like you came back now.
Yeah, I'm really breaking up bad. I'm telling you, my internet's really weird. So if I bleep out, then you'll have to finish up without me. So this is just, all this brings it just to awareness about what we're choosing, how we're choosing to live, what we're choosing to let inside of us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really is case of not letting any other media or something tell you what to do and how you should be. Just look in yourself, feel yourself.
Yeah, I think for me, I've seen people that have not known, it doesn't matter what age they were. They have not known themselves. They don't know what they like or dislike. They could be 70 or 80 years old and still not know, because they've been so programmed to listen to other people and look at outside themselves. it's really important that, and I think it's one of those things that we should learn at a really early age about how we feel about something, anything, everything. And I think the more we know how we feel about something, the more we're living in life. So many people are living in, are existing in life, and are existing. They're not really living. And they live and they die and they never wake up, throughout their life. And I think in order to know our emotions and how we're feeling, and what we like and what we don't like, we can choose how we want to live. But if we're looking outside of ourselves, we're being dictated by everybody else. And it may work for somebody else, but it doesn't work for us. Everybody's unique and has their own likes and dislikes, their own feelings. What bothers somebody extremely might not bother somebody else. And it's everybody's so unique. So everybody has to know themselves. And when we know ourselves, we can really figure out what is wrong, like that something's not wrong, even if somebody's telling you that it's right, and you really respect this person and everything, that's great if it's right for them, but it may not be right for you. So that's why it's so important to know what's about your feelings and what your likes and dislikes are. And so it's so basic, but we bypass it because everybody's telling us what to do and what not to do. And we really have to figure out, what do we want to do? If we could do this in grade school, the kids would grow up and be, a lot better. And it's about controlling who you're going to allow to control yourself. Is the computer, the cell phone, some other person, or are we going to control ours and make choices and continually make good choices for ourselves by knowing when we're addicted to something like the computer or a game or something, and breaking away from it. It's not healthy. There's a lot of people that have become alcoholics due to COVID and things. And like a lot of stuff came up with COVID, and people try to dummy themselves down by drinking alcohol and being a computer and the games and everything. And so it's about being aware and making choices. And not avoiding. I think what people avoid all the time, they bypass. They don't want to feel the difficult feelings, and you got to feel it all. And sit there and not avoid it by reaching for an addiction, whatever the addiction is. So it's about awareness and being, and what are you doing in the moment? Are you choosing this? Or are you just being programmed to be like a robot and do what society is telling you to do? Or are you choosing it yourself? I think the world would be a better place if people empowered themselves, and not through an ego. I'm not talking about ego here. I'm talking about really getting centered, into your higher self. And what is this? What are you being called to do? And it's not reaching for an addiction. When you're in an addiction, when you're reaching for that addiction, you're avoiding your feelings. So it's a point where you have to say, what am I avoiding that I'm reaching for this thing? Maybe it's loneliness. And if it's not loneliness, you go inside and talk about your inner child. You talk to your inner child and say, what do you need? And when you can talk to your inner child and ask, what do you need right now? You're giving that inner child a missing experience by letting them know that there's somebody else there, that they're not alone. And you say, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm your adult self. What do you need right now? And that will help heal that loneliness. And you could pick up a pillow and just hold the pillow, and just sit there until that inner child. You have to visualize the inner child and just say, and hold that inner child until you feel like that inner child doesn't need you to hold them anymore. And it has to be that inner child makes that decision, not you, about when to let go. When is that, stop holding the inner child, not when you want to do something, or you have to talk to the inner child with compassion and say, I need to go right now, and then tell the inner child when you'll be back. I have to do this, and I'll be back. But give the inner child respect and compassion, because the inner child can do no wrong. That's your younger self that's been hurt and dummied down. And when we can do that, we're really getting in touch with the healing parts of ourselves.
Exactly. I think that's very good advice, to actually speak to your inner child, to the process. And obviously, if any one of you want, there is 3 of us who can help you get through this exercise and help you work on your childhood traumas and so on. So please, our contact details is below the video. So if you want, you can reach out to us. Yeah, seems we lost our lovely Morganne, and at the moment is time for meditation, and Morganne nicely left us. Okay, what we doing? Do we have anything else what you would like to discuss today?
I think what I just want to wrap up saying is notice when you're avoiding something, a difficult conversation, avoiding having a feeling by reaching for an addiction, some addiction, whatever it is, that's not good for you. And just be with, like, the more the world can heal by knowing themselves. We're doing it for ourselves, but it has ripple effects and helps everybody else, because if we want the world to heal, we have to do it one person at a time. And the first person we have to do it with is us, because we can't help anybody else until we start helping, or knowing ourselves and helping ourselves. And so everything begins with us. We can't really love a person until we really love ourselves. And that means giving ourselves respect, giving ourselves care, and not avoiding. Giving ourselves the respect to not avoid what we're feeling and being with that feeling.
So, yeah, I think that's all what we can talk about today. Today won't be meditation because Morganne's internet is again down. Sorry about that, but everybody who knows our show already, there is many. There is 87 something meditations already online. So go look up any of them and it will be absolutely great. Even look up previous one, how to manifest abundance, how to manifest your dreams. So please look up those. Please remember, sign up and like our videos, so we have more people who can see us. And we will be back hopefully next week if internet will be okay. Let's hope it will be okay. Have a great week and God bless. Anything else you want to say, Ginny?
Yes. If you get a chance, really go back and listen to the meditations. They're excellent. And I often go back and listen to the meditations because she does excellent meditations. And I just want to thank everybody for showing up, and looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Bye-bye.